Hey guys, and welcome back to another video where today I'm going to be predicting the scores week 19 of this 2021-2022 championship season. And as always, before we get on to this week's predictions, let's have a quick look back at how well we got on in week 18, and it was a very good weekend of football. So last weekend I came away with just 9 points, 2 perfect scores overall, which not too bad I suppose in the grand scheme of things. But top scorer of week 18 was Alex Cochrane with 18 points, 5 perfect scores. Absolutely stupendous weekend there for Alex. There were a few other people also with double scores last week, the likes of Ojo52, the Dugout Football Channel, SG Minor, who had 15 points, Shane O'Donnell 11, Sportcat 11, with Sportcat01 rather with 11 points, Malugu with 12 points, and also Tayyab Iqbal with 10 points. So congratulations to all of those guys for getting into double figures. How does that affect the overall leaderboard? Well, I'm still top of the table with 166 points overall. In second place, Shane O'Donnell now on 147, with Doug on 145, and then Liam on 143 points. Still a long way to go. We're now into week 19, so as usual I'm up against the clock. Can we make it under 2 minutes? Probably not, so I'm going to try and make it under 3 minutes this evening. But there's a lot of exciting matches to predict this coming midweek, which takes place on Tuesday the 23rd of November and Wednesday the 24th of November. So at the count of 3, 2, 1, let's go. So first up on Tuesday evening, we got Blackpool coming up against West Brom. Blackpool getting a good away draw against the JBs or the Jacks on the weekend. West Brom stuttering slightly now, 2 wins out of their last 6 games and a loss away against Huddersfield, and Huddersfield haven't been that magnificent from my point of view recently. So I think this is going to end up all square. I'm going to go for a 1-1 scoreline. Then we've got Coventry coming up against Birmingham. Bit of a Midlands derby this one, isn't it? Coventry, a draw away at Sheffield United, finished 0-0, stalemate. And Birmingham, after sort of a bit of a resurgence where they win 3 games on the trot, they've now lost their last 2 away against relegation threatened Hull, and at home against Reading as well. So difficult one to predict, but with Coventry currently in 5th position, I'm going to go with the Blues in this one, or the Sky Blues rather. So I'm going with Coventry 2, Birmingham 1. Then we've got Middlesbrough coming up against Preston. Preston, second half of that match against Cardiff looked absolutely awful. Middlesbrough under new stewardship now, of course, drawing their last 2 games. Are unlucky. I think they were 1-0 up in that game against Millwall on the weekend, but I think Middlesbrough should have too much here for Preston, who have all sorts of issues there. So I'm going to go Borough 2, Preston 0. Then we've got Nottingham Forest coming up against Luton. Now Luton have only won twice away from home this season, so the advantage there is with Nottingham Forest, currently in 13th position. 1 loss now in their last 6, and getting a 1-1 draw against Reading last time out. So I'm going to go for a straightforward 2-0 victory to Forest in this one. Then we've got Reading coming up against Sheffield United. Difficult one to predict this one. Sheffield United currently in 70th position, just 1 win from their last 6. It was a draw against Coventry at home last time out. And Reading, up and down. I think they've had that points deduction as well, drawing their last match at home against Forest, and a win against Birmingham. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to the Royals in this one. Then we've got Barnsley coming up against Swansea. Barnsley, second from bottom, just 1 victory in their last 6, and they've actually lost those other 5 matches, losing away against Fulham 4-1 on the weekend, and Swansea carving out that draw against Blackpool at home. And Swansea particularly were awful in that second half. But I think they'll bounce back in this one with a win, and I'm going to go for a narrow 1-0 scoreline to the Jacks in this one. Then we've got Blackburn Rovers coming up against Peterborough at home. Blackburn, last time out, where are they? They're 8th, 2 defeats in their last 6, a draw away against Bristol City. I think they were 1-0 down in that one themselves. And Peterborough now dropping back into the relegation zone. They've lost 3 of their last 4 matches. soundly beaten by Stoke on the weekend. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory to Blackburn in this one. Then we've got Bristol City coming up against Stoke. Stoke on a very good run of form at the moment, even though I don't really rate the way they're playing and everything, but it's 3 wins on the bounce, and I am going to go for a 2-0 away victory to Stoke in this one. Bristol City sort of up and down, struggling really recently, aren't they? Then we've got Cardiff City coming up against Hull City. Cardiff now back-to-back wins, which is excellent, although defensively can be a little bit suspect. Hull themselves also back-to-back wins away against Barnsley and home against Birmingham. So I think this is going to be a tight one, but I think home advantage is going to count in this one, and I see the Bluebirds edging out Hull 2-1. Then we've got Fulham at home against Derby. Derby, magnificent game against Bournemouth last time out, particularly with that more points deduction. They're currently now on 0 points. Coming up against Fulham, I fully expect Fulham rampant at the moment. They won their last 6 matches, 4-1 destruction of Barnsley in the last match as well. So I'm going to go 3-1 to Fulham in this one. Then we've got Millwall coming up against Bournemouth. Bournemouth, second position, but losing last time out, and that's 2 defeats in the last 3 games. Millwall, always a tough nut to crack. Middlesbrough found that on the weekend, just a 1 defeat in their last 6. But I fancy the Cherries to bounce back. They don't concede many goals themselves, so I'm going to go for a 1-0 away victory to Bournemouth. Then finally we've got QPR coming up against Huddersfield. Fully expect QPR to repeat the 2-0 scoreline that they gained on Friday evening against Luton, and I can see them beating the Terriers in this one 2-0 as well. So let's stop the clock on 4 minutes and 57 seconds. So there we are, guys. Those are my predictions for the midweek fixtures, which is week 19 of the Championship season for 2021-2022. As always, please remember to leave your predictions in the comment section. I read each and every one of them. I also record all your scores as well in a spreadsheet, so yeah, make sure you get them in and see if you can catch me in the league table. But for now, I'm going to leave you to it. Enjoy the football over the next coming days, and I'll see you all in the next video.